Hey everyone, no respawns here. Hope you're having a grand week. So this is my hunter's cabin. I have used the I think it's called the ironwood anvil. It's basically a cabin which I think was on the Atom store about a month or so ago, and I'd never used it. And obviously, for those who don't know, I took a break from like Fallout 76 for like a season and a half, and I wanted to jump back into this season. And naturally, meant I needed to build something cool. So I'm usually in the mire, but I decided to go back to one of my older haunts, and I made this quite, I think, fairly satisfying hunter's cabin. I wanted something that I would live in, and I wanted something kind of very cluttered and cozy. I also deliberately recorded this just in the morning, so you get that kind of like early morning lighting. But let's give you guys a tour. Oh, let me show you where I am, just in case you don't know. So there's the crosshair. There I am. Vault 51, Clancy Manor, right at the top. There are a few decent places in the forest, and this is one of them. It's very, very cool, and thankfully, there's not any real spawning mobs problems. You'll occasionally, actually saying that I did get scared by a mole rat the other day. That was really funny. So yeah, I liked the idea of this one. It fits quite nicely in the area. It's not a massive area, so you don't have much build room in front of it, but it kind of looks like it's kind of meant to be here. And then my character sort of stumbled across it and has been building it up as I am wont to do. I do despise this grass, though. You can technically put a floor down and it goes, but it just looks a bit weird. Keeps respawning back, so forgive me for the grass. The interior, I'm quite pleased, because I really wanted to make this cluttered, and to the point where I'm probably going to add more clutter, I think. Because I've got a little bit of build limit left, but like, it's a smidgen. That's the technical term. And it's quite cozy. I absolutely adore that fireplace. Yes, I probably got to put a second pumpkin. I completely forgot to do it. I realised this as I started recording, but it's fine. I do like the spooky doll's heads, though, and the ram skull. Incidentally, one thing I do not like about this prefab, and I'm staring at it right now, is that goddamn white concrete floor. I rant about this continuously, and this is not going to be any different. But for some reason, Bethesda's design team has decided that every prefab, or many structures, need an ugly white concrete foundation. And I'm genuinely like, I want to find the person and just like have a quiet word with them. Yeah, just have a chat and be like, maybe you could have a foundation with a bit more of a less gross texture that doesn't make any sense. I do like this bedroom quite a lot. I've got to add a bit more decoration. One thing about the walls here, as you may notice, I'm using anything with a picture frame or anything with a bit more, I guess, 3D texture, with the exception of that poster, but it's the exception to the rule. A lot of the posters kind of sink into, they do that thing where if you place them down, they're kind of sunk into the wall and you can't see them. So just as an FYI, I'm probably going to add quite a few more shelves into this, because like, for example, that wall right there is a little bit barren. And I've got to add stuff here, but I'm fairly pleased and chuffed with how this has turned out. I do one thing as well, and it only really affects certain areas, the forest and actually, be honest, certain areas. No, just really the forest. Actually, is that certain structures won't, the game's lighting sometimes won't look. It won't cast the same level of shadows if it's like during the midpoint of the day. That's kind of also why I chose this kind of morning point. So it can look a little bit washed out at times. That's more of an engine issue. You've possibly noticed it when you've been like building in place like the forest. So just an FYI. It's also why I always build in the mire. Mostly it's like usually where my main player homes are, because it's kind of permanently contrasted, which I really, really like. But overall, I really like the structure. I don't think it's I actually don't think it's definitely not available on the Atom Store as of now, but as with all things, they tend to pop back in. If it's your kind of thing, keep an eye for it. Always check on the Tuesdays. For those who watch people live, who are watching this live, I did take as mentioned, a kind of like about a season and a half of Fallout 76, just because I was a bit burned out. I am back to the Fallout 76 rhythm. And therefore have plans. I want to do a couple of building videos, because I realise most of my 76 stuff has been very tour related. So I'm going to do some live building stuff. It also kind of, it's quite fun because it gives me an excuse to sort of play around with new technique. So expect one of those soon. It's Tuesday tomorrow, so maybe we'll get something decent on the Atom Store. I'm also going to have, I haven't forgotten, and I am still working on my next Fallout 4 mod, which is the Coastal Cottage. I basically started building that up just before the bank holidays in the UK, and as many of you know, or at least this is not unique to me, but when bank holidays or any kind of long holidays come along, my productivity just plummets and I end up slacking off. So I'm back in the rhythm now. Also, I think we might better start doing Starfield stuff again because I took a break from it because there were a couple of bugs and I think they've, by just sheer serendipity, fixed those bugs after I mentioned it. So cool. But anywho, I love you all. You enjoy the rest of your week and I'll speak to you absolutely lovely bunch of reprobates soon. You take care.